I have here data from a CSV file that I've imported onto my notebook from my local computer. I want to see this data just to see how it looks. I don't want to see the whole thing. I just want to see a few lines just to get a feel of what I'm working with here. To do that, in Pandas, I am going to employ the df.head function this way. So it's df.head, then I open and close parentheses. If I run this, I am going to see the first 5 lines of my dataset. You can see that there's a number, there's a quantity, and there is a price. Now, what if I wanted to see not 5 lines? What if I wanted to see more than 5 lines? Let's say 8 lines. So what I'd do in that case is I would specify inside the parentheses that I want 8 lines. And there we go. And what if I wanted to see less than 5 lines? What if I wanted to see 2 lines? I'd specify in my parentheses that I want to see 2 lines. Cool. So what we've discovered here is that this df.head function shows us the first 5 lines of our dataset, but we can specify how many lines we want to see inside the parentheses. Now let's say instead of seeing the first 5 lines or the first 10 lines, I want to see the last 5 lines or the last 10 lines of my data frame. To do that, I would employ df.tail. df.tail, as in my data frame's tail, and run that. And as you can see, we have 1185 observations, and the default df.tail function gives us the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 observations. I can also specify how many values I want to see inside the parentheses of this tail function as well. There's the last 10 values of our data frame. There's the last 8. There's the last 7, and so on. Now the head and the tail functions are not only used just after you've imported your datasets. They are used every time you change your dataset and you want to see the changes that you've made. Let me show you a quick example. Let's say in this dataset that we have here, I wanted the revenue. Revenue is quantity times price. To create a revenue variable, I would go df, and then inside parentheses I specify that I want the revenue, and then revenue. I think I spelled that right. And then I'll specify that revenue must be df quantity. I'm now modifying my data frame, and then I'm going to use the head and the tail functions to show, to see if my modifications worked or if they didn't work. So df quantity times df price. Like spaces in between my code. And let's run this. It's run successfully. Now let's see. Let's view our data frame to see if our changes did actually happen. Let's run this. And you see now there's a revenue variable in our data frame. Let's see if we've got the revenue variable in the bottom of our data frame. It's there, but we just, for completeness sake, there it is on the tail of our data frame. So to conclude in this video, we've looked at the head function, we've looked at the tail function, and we know that they get used when you've just imported your dataset and every time you do modifications to your dataset. See you in the next video. Cheers.